Parsha Shelach has in it one of the seminal events in Jewish history, and that is not hyperbole. This is something that affects us until this very day. And that is the story of the Meraglim, the spies that Moshe Rabbeinu sent out to Eretz Yisrael to reconnoiter the land and to come back with a report how they'd be able to go ahead and conquer Eretz Yisrael. They came back on that infamous night, to paraphrase Franklin Roosevelt, a day that will live in infamy, the ninth day of Av. And they came back and they gave a negative report about Eretz Yisrael. And they spoke ill of Eretz Yisrael. And as a result of that, the people cried that very night on Tisha B'Av, and they didn't want to go into Eretz Yisrael. As a result of that, the Rebbeinu Shalom punished the entire Klal Yisrael, everyone that was 20 years old and above. And their fate was that they would never go into Eretz Yisrael, and that they would all die out in the Midbar over the 40 years that they were in the desert. And only their descendants would come into Eretz Yisrael. And the Pasuk says, "B'mispar hayomim asher tartem es ha'aretz arboim yoim." For the 40 days that it took you to reconnoiter and spy on the land, yoim lashana, yoim lashana. So for those 40 days, so your lashon hara will be for the 40 yoim lashana, for one day, for every one year, for every day. You were there for 40 days. You spoke ill. You spoke lashon hara about Eretz Yisrael, and now yom lashana, yom lashana, and therefore tisuas havanisechem ad arboim shana v'yadatem es tnuasi. Reb Shlomo Kluger asks a very interesting question, a very basic question. They were punished to spend 40 years in the desert. Why 40 years? Where did that come from? Because they spoke lashon hara, and for the 40 days that they were spying on the land, they have to spend for every day, another year in the Midbar. Wait a minute. The Avera is speaking lashon hara. If you look at the psukim, it's a matter of several psukim of what they spoke about Eretz Yisrael. Maybe it took 5 minutes. Maybe it took 15 minutes. Well, it's a matter of minutes. So if you're punishing them for speaking lashon hara, the speech took a matter of minutes. Why then 40 years for the 40 days that you were spying on Eretz Yisrael? You weren't speaking lashon hara for 40 days. The answer of Shlomo Kluger says, and it's a very fundamental point. The Aveira of lashon hara does not begin with the mouth. Or the way to put this is, the Aveira of lashon hara begins with the eye and ends with the tongue. Lashon hara begins with a matter of perception, how you view something, how you view a situation. Those 40 days that they were in Eretz Yisrael, they viewed everything with a negative eye. For instance, Chazal families tell us that they said Eretz Yisrael is the land that's Eretz Eicheles, it's eating up its people. Why? Why eating up its people? It's because everywhere they went, they're just people going to funerals. I mean, this wasn't COVID. Why constant funerals? Must be, it's a land that devours its people. No. What was really happening? Spies want to show, they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be heard. So what did the Rebbeinu Shalom do? He went ahead and had people all dying on the same day, and thus people busy going to funerals. And as a result of that, they went undetected. That was a gewaldige taiva. That was a tremendous taiva the Rebbeinu Shalom did for the Meraglim. They won't be detected, so that people be preoccupied. I live a half a mile for the only Jewish funeral home in the state of Maryland. Okay? You know, I drive by that place multiple days, multiple times a day. You know, go here, go there. It's not constantly busy. You know, sometimes it has a busy day. But there's some days there are no funerals. So what would be, if every time I go, there's a funeral, something's going on. Two ways of looking at it. Maybe God is keeping them preoccupied. Or maybe it's a country that devours its land. It's all a matter of perception. The chet of Lashon Hara is a chet of perception. How you choose to look at somebody or something. It's up to you. It's up to you to try to see the good or to focus on the bad. You know, there was a German philosopher whose name I don't know, came to the conclusion, if one looks at nature, what does one see? One goes to the jungle in Africa and see how life is on the plains, on the savannas. It's a matter of survival of the fittest. Okay, the lion sees the antelope. The lion is hungry. The lion chases the antelope and kills it. As a result of that, the lion eats, lion finishes, and then the buzzards come and go ahead and pick off the rest, etc., etc. In the sea, the big fish eat the small fish. The bigger fish eat even the bigger fish. If you've ever had an aquarium in your house, you have to know that sometimes you can't buy certain fish because they'll eat the little fish. What is nature? What is life? Survival of the fittest. That was his perception of what he saw in the animal world. On the other hand, the Gemara says, a very interesting Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan, if we had not been given the Torah, had the Torah not given us the mitzvahs, we would know how to that we have to act in a modest fashion from the cat. Because when the cat has to relieve itself, it doesn't do so in public. It goes to a secluded place and relieves itself. We would learn tznius from the cat. The gezel min hamola. If a little ant is carrying a crumb of bread, the other ant won't take it from him because it's his. So the concept of gezel, not stealing, we would know from the ant. Varais miyona, the yona mates for life. The turtle dove mates for life. It doesn't go ahead and switch wives. If one of them dies, they remain celibate the rest of their lives. So you look at the animal world, and you see all these wonderful things. You see tznius, you see gezel, you see the lack of gezel, you see the lack of arayas. So one person looks at the animal world, and he sees dog eat dog. Survival of the fittest. Rabbi Yochanan looks at the animal world and he sees all the midas taivis that a person should have. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It's what you see, what you choose to see, what you choose to focus on.